There are moments when it feels like you should be further along by now. You've been thinking, reflecting, learning, and yet something still hasn't shifted, not because you're lazy, not because you lack discipline, but because understanding alone doesn't always create movement. The mind often believes that once it knows something, change should follow automatically. But the nervous system doesn't move on insight. It moves on safety. When you try to change too quickly, your system interprets it as a threat, even if the change is positive, even if it's something you've wanted for years. That's why progress can feel strangely uncomfortable. You're not just leaving old habits behind, you're leaving familiar emotional states, familiar identities, familiar ways of coping, and familiarity feels safe, even when it hurts. This is where frustration often begins. You understand what needs to change. You can explain it clearly. You may even give good advice to others. But when it comes to your own movement, something keeps slowing things down. This gap between understanding and action isn't a personal flaw. It's a mismatch between the speed of insight and the speed of integration. Insight can arrive instantly. Integration takes time. The system needs repeated signals that change won't lead to punishment, loss, or overwhelm. Until then, hesitation is not failure. It's caution. There is often a quiet fear underneath this hesitation. A fear that if you start again, you'll have to confront how long things have been stalled. That movement will make time visible. Staying still keeps that confrontation away. When nothing changes, nothing is confirmed. This is why stillness can feel strangely protective. It delays disappointment. It delays judgment. It delays the moment where effort becomes visible. This doesn't mean you don't want progress. It means progress feels emotionally loaded. Starting isn't just starting. It's reopening a story that hasn't ended well before. So the system waits, not because it prefers stagnation, but because it's avoiding another emotional cost. This is why forcing yourself forward often creates resistance instead of momentum. The body tightens. The mind hesitates. Energy drains, not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're moving faster than your system can absorb. Progress doesn't break through resistance. It softens it. Real progress is quieter than we expect. It doesn't arrive as motivation or confidence. It arrives as permission to move slowly, permission to pause without quitting, permission to take the next step without demanding certainty. This is also why people often describe themselves as stuck, even when nothing is physically stopping them. What they're feeling isn't lack of ability. It's reluctance to re-enter a cycle that previously led to exhaustion, pressure, or self-blame. The system remembers, and memory shapes behavior more than intention. Until effort feels different than it did before, the system remains cautious, not resistant, cautious. The mind wants guarantees before it acts. It wants to know the outcome. It wants reassurance that effort will be rewarded. It wants certainty before risk, but clarity rarely comes before movement. It comes after small, safe actions are repeated. This is why gentle consistency works where pressure fails. When you lower the emotional cost of action, your system stops resisting it. You're no longer asking yourself to leap into the unknown. You're simply stepping into something that feels survivable. You don't need to feel ready. You don't need to feel confident. You don't need to feel certain. You only need to feel safe enough. And safety grows when you stop judging your pace. Progress isn't something you force into existence. It's something you allow to unfold, one calm decision at a time. When you stop pushing yourself to change, change finally has room to happen.